We're going to look at what multiplicity means. So our multiplicity has to deal with what's happening at the x-intercepts. So remember that we find our x-intercepts by setting y equal to 0 or f of x equal to 0. Those are the same thing. So if I set this equal to 0, we have x minus 3 quantity squared times x minus 4 quantity cubed. Well, remember we set each factor equal to 0. Factors are things that are multiplied, so this is being multiplied by this, so I set this part equal to 0 and this part equal to 0. So I do x minus 3 squared equal to 0 and x minus 4 quantity cubed equal to 0. So here we want to undo squaring, so we're going to take the square root of both sides. Remember, when you take the square root, you need to do plus or minus. So that gives us x minus 3 equals plus or minus 0. Well, 0 doesn't have positive and negative signs, so I can drop that from here on out. But I want to get the x by itself, so I'm going to add 3. So we get x is 3. Okay? Now here we want to undo raising it to the third power, so we're going to take the cube root, so we get x minus 4 equals the cube root of 0, which is 0. Now on cube roots you don't have to do plus or minus, it's just on even roots that you need to do plus or minus. So here we're going to add the 4. So we get x equals 4. Now notice when we took the square root of 0, it was 0, and we took the cube root of 0, it's 0. So this power here is not going to impact when you're setting it equal to 0. However, it does have an impact as what happens at the x-intercept. Okay? So what we refer to this is multiplicity. Okay? So multiplicity is the power with each factor. So each factor has its own multiplicity. Okay? Multiplicity because it's multiple times. This is 2 times, this is 3 times, right? That's what squared means, that you're timesing it by itself twice. Cubed means timesing it by itself 3 times, so it's happening multiple times, so that's why we refer to it as multiplicity. Okay? So if your power of a factor is even, that's an even multiplicity. And then additionally, it bounces at the x-axis. Sometimes bounces is referred to as touches and turns back around. If it's odd, then we refer to it as an odd multiplicity. And then we have that it crosses or goes through at the x-intercept, the x-axis, which is the x-intercept. Okay? So here in this picture, at 3, I would know that this is, since it has, let's find the multiplicity first. So since this is a power of 2, that means that the multiplicity is 2. So then that means that it's even and going to bounce. So the E stands for even, B stands for bounce. So at this x-intercept, it's going to bounce. Okay? If we look at this power, okay, this power is a 3, so its multiplicity is 3, so it's odd and it's going to cross. Okay? So the multiplicity is independent of the x-intercept. So the x-intercept, well, independent may not be the right way to say it, but they don't have to be the same number is what I was trying to get at. So the x-intercept is 3, the multiplicity is 2, the x-intercept is 4, and the multiplicity is 3. Now you can have it be any direction, right? This number being even or odd doesn't have anything to do with the multiplicity. Okay? So I know it's going to bounce here, and then we're going to have at 4 that it crosses. Okay? So when you get your graph, and we'll go more into how you get this graph later, but you're going to have it bounce here and then cross here. Okay? So if I had looked at this one, here I get x is 0 from this one. I can shortcut it. Notice we just changed the sign from here to here. We just changed the sign from here to here. So this one is really plus nothing, so if I set it equal to 0, I would divide by -3, which still gives me 0. Then I'd take the cube root, which still gives me 0. Here I change this sign, so that gives me 4. And then here we change this sign and then divide by that number because we're really doing 2x plus 1 equals 0. So we subtract the 1, so we get 2x equals -1. Then we divide by the 2, so x equals -1/2. Okay? So you change this sign, divide by this number. So for our multiplicity, this one comes from a power of 3, so our multiplicity is 3, so it's odd and crosses, sorry. If we look at this power, this is an unsaid 1. So its multiplicity is 1, so it's odd and it's crossing. Right? And then if we look at this one, we have this multiplicity is a 5, so that means that it's odd and it's crossing. Okay? So it would be crossing through each one of these. Okay? So we've got at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then at negative a half. Okay? So we've got that it's at negative a half, it's crossing, crossing, crossing. 4, 9, so then it will go like this. Oh, I missed crossing very well on that one. Okay. We'll go over how to get that other part, but for right now, I just need you to know that they're crossing here. Okay. Same kind of thing here. Notice on this one, there's no x with it, so this is not impacting any of our x-intercepts. So from this one, I change the sign, so I get negative 6. And then here, I change this sign, so we get x is 3. Then our multiplicity comes from the power, so this was a squared. So our multiplicity is 2, so that's going to be even and bouncing. Here, this came from a 5th, so that means that its multiplicity is 5, so that's odd and it's crossing. So we have at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have at 1, 2, 3. 3 is crossing, this one's bouncing, and so I would go, again, we'll get to how you get to this other portion and know, but here I know it's bouncing and here I know that it's crossing. So that's our multiplicity of our x-intercepts.